looks like there may be a couple participants. I see Cassie, I see Lisa. Awesome. This is a new one on new software for me, so wanted to experience with it you guys for the first time.
Mom, I wanted to lay on me.
I gotta do a meeting. Hold on.
Daddy had to too.
Mm-hmm.
I need something to lay on.
Can you hear me okay? I see some of you guys in there. Okay, thank you.
Okay, scoot over, but I gotta do my meeting, okay? Yes, I'll go with you when I'm done. Scoot over here.
If I could have you guys mute your microphones so that I hear all the stuff that you guys are, I guess, yeah, because I'm going to have you text. You're going to use the group chat because we don't want to have everybody on at the same time. So that probably would work best if you would mute your microphone and use the Zoom group chat when you're asking questions. I am going to start out, most of you know, I'm going to start out probably just going over some expectations and responsibilities, and then I'll open it up for question and answers. But first, I want to welcome you all here to our first team meeting. Very exciting summer. It started already, and it's been a lot of fun for me, so I hope it's been fun for you. We are using a new system. This system should be recording as we speak, and so those of you for joining me, awesome. Thank you so much. I know there's a large amount of us that are still under contract and are working. We also have summer school and have coaching responsibilities, and I totally understand. So with this recording, I should be able to email that out to everyone. Again, those of you that are here, if you could mute your microphone, that'd be super. That's what the background noise is coming from. So we need everyone to mute their microphone. The other thing that I wanted to say thank you about was that you guys have been filling out the remind or joining the remind that I sent in the last email, and also filling out the Google Doc with your cell phone number, the course that you teach, and your name. That just makes it easier for me to, when I need to get a hold of you quickly, I can find your number. I know a lot of you are texting me, and I'm actually saving your contacts, and that's working too, but it's just helpful if I really needed that, I would be able to contact you without much research. The first thing of responsibilities and expectations, I want you by the end of tonight to check any student that has not logged on, that has not begun the class, and you need to contact their parents in the morning, letting them know that the course had begun on Monday, that it opened, making contact with the parents that, you know, you want to make sure that the kiddo knows that the course has begun, and then the parent can talk to the kiddo about, hey, did you get your email? Did you get that phone call? Did you get that text message? Your teacher was letting me know that your class started. They were kind of concerned that you hadn't started yet, and kind of get that ball rolling there. And that will really help you in getting these kids starting and letting these kids know that you will be in contact with them. The second thing that I want to, same concept, is the exercise log week 1 opened today. And remember, each exercise log will open on the Wednesday of that week. So I've already had kids and teachers contacting me like they can't get in. Well, that was set up that way. It opened today, and they can start logging their exercise log. Again, if they did not, when you go to grade on Monday morning, or whichever day, because I have exercise logs are due by Sunday. So if nobody's turned one in by Sunday at midnight, I'm not calling them yet. They have till Sunday at midnight. So Monday, I pull them up. I say, who hasn't turned in an exercise log? You personally need to talk with them so they know they are expected to exercise 3 hours a week over a minimum of 3 days, and that it was due the day before. You do not want to let them get behind on those exercise logs. The other thing that I want to touch base with you on is making sure that students are in the correct section. You want to communicate with them that what your class is, what their expectations are, and they know they're supposed to be there. So make sure you're double checking on that. Make sure that you are communicating by returning all the phone calls, text messages, grading their work within that 24-hour period, and giving them feedback on the grading. Another item, please check for added students through today, or through tomorrow, actually. I talked with Rhonda yesterday, and she said that our class sizes are going to be large. I know that's exciting, and I know that's a big responsibility. And with that, just know that you may have up to 10 more students added today. So you need to be doing those first call checklists and continuing those follow-up emails, and just making sure that those students are familiar with what's expected of them and know who you are and things like that. The other thing that I want to add is the final exam. So a lot of us are already getting students that are saying that they're not going to be available the week of final exam, and students that are saying they want to finish the course in 3 weeks, and finishing the course in 3 weeks is just not acceptable. Students cannot take the final exam prior to July 1st. That's going to be the deadline there. After July 1st, they can take the final exam early, but they need to continue to enter their exercise logs. And that's something you want to be very, very clear on, because parents and students become very upset when they hear that they took the final exam, they thought they were done. Well, PE is unique in that you can do the written work ahead of time, yet you still must do your exercise logs afterwards. The other thing about PE and being unique is that in PE 1, this is for PE 1 teachers, Unit 2 next week has a fitness evaluation, the preliminary fitness evaluation. The students will do push-ups and sit-ups and some aerobic activity, and they will record how they performed. In Unit 5, which is supposed to be done week 5, they're going to do those exercises again and record how they progressed. So they can't do that assignment and then turn around 3 days later and do the next assignment that goes with that in Unit 5. So I just want you to prepare students for that, be talking with them about those expectations, things like that. All right, well, those were really my bulleted items. I'm going to open it up for question and answer. Dan, I had a couple questions for you before we get started. Dan Worley is here with us, guys. And that is, when can we expect final exam registration to open up? And the procedures for remote proctor, are students needing to contact IOA themselves? Is there a certain person they should contact? Those are my 2 questions. So Dan, I'll let you have the floor.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. So first one, reservation system opens on the 25th of June. There's actually a news announcement that will tell students that about a week ahead of time. Basically, they'll go into iOasis like they've always done and create that reservation. So again, the 25th. Then the remote proctor, if the school is allowing remote proctor, some schools don't want their students to use the system. They'll see it as an option. So all students should do a reservation so they can choose their school, a different testing facility. Remote proctor will be an option if their school's allowing it. And if they're going to make alternative arrangements like a library or a if they're out of town, they're at a university. All three of those options will show up for the students in the reservation system. That way you guys know, like when you check to see if the kid is signed up for a final, to take their final, you'll see what they're doing. So you'll see if they're doing remote proctor, you'll see if they're going to a library, or if they're just going to their school. So to answer that.
Perfect. Perfect.
One thing about dates, so there are, like today, the exercise log opened this morning at 12 a.m. So each Wednesday that'll open. There are a couple of assignments per course that also are like that, like the parent survey and the one you just mentioned with the
Unit
including.
size. Yeah.
Yeah. So if there are assignments like that, in the welcome folder, there is an important dates document that I added. So you guys might want to look at that too.
Okay.
So you can see when things are supposed to open. So it's right below the pacing guide. Since we did add dates specifically to your course, that's how it works. In the news items, I also tell them that, like, you can work through the course at a faster pace, but you have to, I tell them what does not open. Like an exercise log opens on Wednesday. You can't do this assignment till week, whatever. So that's included in the news items for them, but you might want to mention it to them if they have any questions.
Sure.
That document.
Okay, great. So can they pay to be videoed for remote proctoring? Yeah, they do pay for that. I think it's like $20.
It's $20.
$20.
So,
There you go.
yeah, so they would do that on the day that they take the test.
And yes, Susie, they can. They should have an option to select a different school, whatever's closest to them.
Yeah, normally they would get their own school, but Iowa is also an option too. So if they're local, we get a lot of students coming here.
Okay.
So the first call from me, I'll be calling you guys, those that have set up meetings. I'll be calling you at your meeting time next week. It'll be a short call.
A simple way to see the added students, Stan? Is there a simple way to see the added students? I usually go in, this is silly, but I go into notes because the students that are new, I haven't made any notes on.
Yeah, there actually probably is not an easy way because of kids moving around. I mean, they could have been registered early on and just had chose the wrong course. So we have, right now until tomorrow, we have kids actively still enrolling at probably about 20 schools. And some kids did choose the wrong class, so we're moving some kids around.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it adds confusion to the rosters. You might actually call somebody that's not in your course anymore, like they dropped out.
If they withdrew from the class, when should we see them remove? As soon as,
So it syncs, right now it's syncing about once, well, it's syncing overnight. So once it syncs, they'll be removed. As probably Friday on, it'll start syncing more often. So if they drop before the drop date, they'll drop pretty, within a few hours of that drop. So
the final exam, like I said earlier, July 1st is the earliest. Check my student notes and look for that. That's a good suggestion, Lisa. That's what I do too.
Yeah. And it's just the enrollment date. Yeah, they might run into somebody with an enrollment date that enrolled early that chose a different course and wanted to take PE.
Okay.
So.
Susie, that might be that your particular email maybe is going through their spam. Do you see that one, Dan, where she's saying?
Yeah, I've sent an email to that student to see if she will respond to me. We may have to get that student to change their email.
Okay.
It's a AOL. So we may need to just have her create a new email account for Highway.
Well, this meeting doesn't have to, it only needs to last as long as they have questions, Dan. That's what I normally do, and then I'll
Yep.
send a recording out of this.
That's fine if they don't have any more questions.
I'll probably hang out here for another 5 or so minutes, guys, but if you are feeling confident and ready to move on to your next task, I'm happy for you to sign off.
I'll hang on as long as you need me to.
Yeah, cool. We'll hang out here together.
Nice.
It's great.
Oh, thanks, Rosie. I definitely am. I have a student who wants her email sent to one other use. I think you can change that yourself by going into roster, clicking on her name, and then you can actually edit her email. When grading, how do I get all students' assignments that I have not graded yet without scrolling through? Bodhi, let me just tell you that, did you let the students know how to create a new email? Did you let the student know how to create it? That sounds like you're answering someone else's. But Bodhi, I think I can tell you that real fast, or you can just call me and I can tell you real fast. It'd probably be easier if you just call me and I'll just run you through it real quickly. And then I have a few students that have not taken PE1. It's okay. They don't have to take PE1 before they take PE2. Perfect. Using a pager, Dan, that's a new one for me. I don't know, is there a problem with that? That I had a student contact me using the pager yesterday. I replied using email.
It's there.
Oh,
the pager's there. I don't know how many students actually use it. We don't teach them to use it, but we can't take it away. It's just an instant messaging thing.
Okay.
That it's fine.
Okay. I've never used it either.
It's pretty much the only way you can communicate inside of D2L since we took email away from D2L.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I can't take it away at this point. So
I must have used it this morning, but I didn't realize that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I know some other teachers use it quite a bit with their students.
So does she need to record that, or will it just stay in her
I mean,
portal?
if it's a note you would have recorded based on the conversation, like if you would have put that note in iWay system, I would do it. Just say that you communicated with the student through the pager and what you talked about. If it's not important, that it doesn't need to be noted, then you wouldn't have to put a note.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm going to close up. If you have any other questions, just give me a call. I'll be around. Call me, text me, whatever works. Yeah. So Dan, do you have anything else before I think I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to attempt to email it to everyone.
I'm good. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay. Super. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
No problem. Bye-bye.